This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Good evening and welcome to this NDTV special. How much should politics and social sensitivities have the right to dictate the agenda of a movie? Shouldn't art be not just beyond politics but also beyond political correctness? The most recent controversy, of course, has been triggered by the movie Aarakshan, Prakash Jha's latest blockbuster that's still awaiting release but has already run into a series of controversies. The Uttar Pradesh government did not allow the cast and crew to promote their film. The head of the National Commission on Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes has issued a notice accusing the film of being anti-Dalit. We seem to forget that this is a movie that's already been cleared by the Censor Board. It's not just UP. In Maharashtra too, there are PILs in court and there are a number of political parties, including the mainstream, that are objecting to the movie. Should politics get to hold cinema, in fact any art, to ransom? I want to start with yourself, if I may. You're somebody we've always known, and at least I've always known, as a thinking actor. Today, when you're accused by some of being anti-Dalit because the movie raises some questions about reservation, does it startle you? Have you always thought of yourself, in a sense, as a liberal progressive voice? Do you think people have conflated real life with cinematic roles and that shouldn't happen?
It doesn't actually startle or surprise me. I mean, over the years and with some experience, I've grown to expect a certain amount of reservation or a certain amount of questioning and even a little bit of trouble and a little bit of party appeasing, you know, talking to people and making sure the film goes through. Earlier, I think when I was a little younger, I would get
worked up, a
little more offended and start saying things like, you know, you're discriminating against me, and it's a reverse or inverse kind of discrimination. But I think the important thing is to try and understand what point people are trying to make there. I don't think it's got anything to do with cinema. I feel some communities look for a platform, and sometimes they worry whether they're being represented properly or not. So I think the core issue probably with them is
genuine.
Let me not comment whether it's genuine or not, but let me say that perhaps, yeah, okay, it is valid in my mind, the concern that if somebody with my image, my personal image and my screen image perhaps, playing a Dalit in a movie, they might say, listen, hang on, what kind of movie is this and are you representing us properly?
But you're an actor. You're not playing Nawab Pataudi's son in the movie. You're not playing yourself.
I can understand why someone, I agree with that. And I mean, I would go on after that to say, but this is the concern, obviously. That, you know, they're worried whether they would be represented properly or not. To that, I would say that if it would be in any other movie or some other normal movie, I mean, I probably wouldn't have acted in it. The fact is that Prakash Jha makes films that he cares a lot about, and he's a very intelligent and sensitive and balanced person. So anyone watching the film, I think, would see that it's a portrayal of the issue in a very balanced way, and obviously there's nothing more important to him than his movie. So he won't miscast the lead.
Absolutely.
So badly. So
absolutely. But what I'm sensing, Prakash, listening to Saif, is a kind of resigned cynicism. Ye to hota hai. You know, earlier it used to enrage us, but now we've learned that these are the hoops to jump through, these are the barricades to cross. Have you also sort of resigned yourself cynically to it?
You know, I do films which do concern the society. I mean, I don't make fantasy love stories, and I'm making comments on society a lot. So I always expect that on these issues there will be several points of view. And if I have my freedom of speech, others also have their freedom of opinion. And I am prepared for that. And I try. We have worked very hard for years together to assimilate facts, to weave out a story, to create a narrative which, you know, is in our point of view a very balanced picture of every point of view. Say for Aarakshan, It's a sensitive issue. But we are a sensitive society because we are a caste-based society. There is no denying the fact. So obviously, if I look at it from the point of view of the section of the population which has been subjugated for centuries, and I also need to understand the pain of the section of the society which suddenly finds itself cramped for opportunities because of a policy.
NDTV's Cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.